Hit me. Wait, what are we playing? Go fish? Then I'll raise on the flop. What? Hey, what's up guys? Snow's here, and today we're making this custom-made sign with my name on it. Or you can put yours, or you could put mine and put it in your room and tell everybody about my channel. So as you can see, it's already built. That's because I've just finished building it and now I'm doing the intro. So let's take a look at some sexy B-roll of that beast first, and then we'll jump right into how to build it. Keep in mind, this is a learning experience for me. With my back problems, it took me like 5 days to complete that. Could have easily been done in a few hours. But yeah, let's jump into the sexiness. Alright, so we have everything here that we're gonna use to make my project. First of all, a piece of MDF, about 6mm thick, some varied colors of Sharpies, a can of paint, black preferably, but you could use whatever color you want to use, a ruler, I'm not sure if this is gonna come in handy, but maybe, some painter's tape to hold the paper together, some LED string lights, link in the description below of the one I used today, a stepper bit that can go all the way up to 22mm, a pen that's always handy to have, and in my case I'm going to use a soldering iron. You'll see why, but I'm not soldering anything together today. So before we start, we actually need the design. In my case, I did mine in Photoshop and I used the font that I'm going to put in the description below. What I did was super simple. I basically printed all of the letters out into pieces of paper and I laid them out on my board for me to know where I'm going to drill my holes. Here's a super easy way to transfer your lettering into your MDF. All you have to do is place the letter over the MDF and just go over the dots with a Sharpie. By doing that, and I'm going to do that right now, you're actually making the ink of the Sharpie go through the paper and into the piece of MDF. Now you know where to drill. So here is where I'm going to be using the soldering iron. Because I already have my whole logo printed out on the MDF, on a paper that I stuck to the MDF, I'm actually just gonna go ahead and grab the soldering iron and just burn the paper and burn the wood so I know exactly where it is. I think it's just gonna be faster. So that's what I'm gonna do. But once again, the Sharpie method works super well too. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in and wait a few minutes. I don't know how hot it needs to be, but I'm just gonna put it at the highest temperature possible. Maybe stick to the Sharpie method at home because this can burn paper and you might not want to start a fire.
A few moments later.
All right, so the iron's hot. Let's try it out. It makes a super satisfying sound when I press it in. Man, I love the smell of burning wood. There you go, all done. So I'm gonna unplug this and put it in a safe place. Don't put it on your carpet, kids. Now the main reason why I use the soldering iron is because under this paper is actually a ton of black dots because I tried the Sharpie method first and it worked well. It's just that I wanted to change the design afterwards. So that way I get a burnt in mark to know where to drill and not just a Sharpie mark because there's gonna be tons of it under it. Take a look. See? Sharpie dots and burn dots, and I can also feel the burns. Feel the burns. I made a little mistake here and burned 2 holes, but it's not a problem because I'm gonna go back and drill in for this. I'm gonna go back and drill in and it should cover the area of that spill. All right, so it's the next day at Snow Studios and let's pump some energy back into the video. So what we're gonna do now, which I've already done for one letter, is to drill in, and what I'm gonna use is a step drill bit that goes all the way up to 20mm. I would have used just one auger bit, but unfortunately I don't have any that's 20mm. So I bought this on Amazon for 15 bucks, and honestly, it's gonna be super useful. So while drilling into the MDF, another reason why the soldering iron was super helpful is that it creates a little bit of a hole so the drill bit can catch and just drill in without sliding. Pretty cool. All right, so let's finish up some holes. I don't know if you can see my eye, but anyways. So I thought I'd use my phone to show you guys how I do it. So I got the drill right here, put it on top of the burn mark, like right here, like so. And in that case, I really need to go all the way through. There you go. And there you go, one hole. See, we're gonna clean it up later. Hey, would you look at that? I can almost stop now. Make sure you let your drill bit cool a little bit, because after each letter it's going to be extremely hot. So I did the N and I waited about 10 minutes, then I did the O, and so on and so forth until the W, and now I have the 2 S's to go. And now they're done. So the next step is going to be to smooth out these circles' edges. So I'm just going to grab some sandpaper and we'll do that. So just grab your sandpaper and start rubbing gingerly around the outer edge of the circle, just like this. We just want to get rid of any raised parts on the circle's front edge. Be careful and take your time, because you don't want to chip out the edge of your circle. Alright, so now that all of the holes are flat, smooth, and well done, it's time to paint. In my case, I'm going to use some regular old wall paint that I had, black, with a paint roller to make sure that I have no brush strokes. You could use a brush if you like the style, or you could use spray paint. Just make sure you're in a well-ventilated area, because last time I did that in my garage, I didn't open any doors, any windows, and I almost passed out. So make sure you choose a color you like and go ahead and paint. Now that it's painted, as you can see here, it's time to put in the bulbs. Now this will depend on the style that you choose. What I want to do is I want the bulbs to be raised slightly so that they can illuminate the black background too. What you could do is make these holes a tiny bit too small for the bulbs so that they actually sit on the back of it and illuminate in a round, sharp shape, kind of like if they were recessed. So to be able to make it raised, I had to make a little bit of a jig. So what I did is I took 4 pieces of cardboard, I left one blank, and I took 3 and placed some holes roughly the size of 1 bulb. And the last one, I put it in the back. I went ahead and taped it, and this is what it looks like. That way, I just put it on the front side. I go ahead and enter the bulb from the back. Once it hits the cardboard, I know that I have my desired height, and I can just glue it right there, wait a few seconds for the glue to set, and then just rinse and repeat for all of the other bulbs. Now this is gonna be long and tedious, so I'm just gonna do one. That way you guys know how to do it, and you can do it throughout all of the 91 bulbs in my case that you have to put in. One thing to consider while doing this build is how many lights you have, how many holes you have, and how many lights you're gonna lose. What I mean by that is take a look between the S and the N. I could definitely go ahead and trace the S and then go to the N, but while I'm going to the N, I'm gonna lose 1 or 2 LEDs, and I've factored that in to make sure that I have enough holes and especially enough LEDs. So my route is going to be from the top of the S all the way down, skipping to the bottom of the N, all the way up, down, up, and then skipping to the top of the O, so I can go around, and then from here, I only have a short trip to the W, which I'm going to make, and then I'm going to go all the way up to the top of the S, top corner of the S, and slide all the way down. That way, I'm only losing about 3, 4, maybe 5 LEDs, and 91 plus 5, 96. I still got 4 LEDs. I should be fine, and this is the margin of error I'm giving myself. If you have too many holes in your letters, you can definitely modify them. For example, the O, I did remove 1 circle. For the N, I removed 1 circle from the middle area, and just make sure you rearrange them so they look good. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna eyeball it because this jig doesn't work. I actually had to use a slightly different method because the whole cardboard thing didn't work. It was just sticking to the hot glue. So what I did instead, as you can see here, is put the ball through the hole, hold it from the underside, apply some hot glue on top, and wait for it to set. It took me about 2 hours to do the full panel. Actually, probably more like 2.5 to 3 hours. Now all we have to do is mount it, and oh, it's already mounted. I'm sorry guys, it's because it's been 10 minutes for you guys, but it's been 5 days for me, and I was just so anxious to just finish this project and put it on the wall. So the way I did it was very simple. I used a bolt and a nut, and I basically just drilled 2 holes near the letters N and W. I basically passed the bolt through, threaded the nut on it, and then I looped the steel cable around it, tied a little knot, made sure it was nice and tight, and I was able to hang it. One of the nice things is that there's different modes. Let me show you, give me a second. And all of these modes make it look super cool behind me or in your room or wherever you're gonna place it. This actually lights up the room quite well if it's dark. All right, so that's pretty much it for the video. Thankfully it's done, man. It took me so long to film that and so many different things. I broke the first mounting solution I had and I resorted to using the bolt and the nut. So many things went awry, but in the end we were able to make it. It looks gorgeous. I hope you guys have an amazing day. If you build this, please send it to me. I'd love to see what you got. Just send me a message on YouTube. I don't remember how to do that, but just do that. Stay tuned. I've got some cool videos coming, one of them being a song review, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it. Leave a comment in the description below if your feelings are more complicated than this. And I am gonna go ahead, take a shower, maybe sleep a little, come back and film the intro. The reason why is because, you know, I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to finish it up. So also I'm gonna clean that place. It's disgusting around here. Oh, I'm just talking because I know that the end card is gonna be around. My back hurts like crazy. Oh.